It's time for Good Game Spawn Point. I'm Jem.
And I'm Rad. Coming up on today's show, witness all the spectacular stunts and sorry stacks in our review of Trials Rising. Wrap in for another big scoop of gaming news.
Rad, I also think it's time we tested Will's gaming knowledge at the Ask SP desk.
That's a great idea. Have we gotten much mail this week?
I don't know, let me check the mail dispenser. Just a bit of mail.
My Hogwarts acceptance.
Rad, many moons ago, a young Jem sat hunched over a school computer one rainy recess, and on that computer was a frustrating little flash game called Trials 2. This was my first and last experience with the Trials series, until now.
Well, it's a wonderful time to rejoin the Trials troupe with the latest installment in the series, Trials Rising. Shall we see if it puts the trial in trial by fire?
Only if you promise that is the only Trials-related pun you're gonna make today.
Okay, but I do feel another one rising.
Oh.
Please don't be motocross with me.
In a nutshell, the Trials series is about getting your bike from point A to point B. Except between those 2 points are all manner of twists, turns, and death-defying drops. It's motorcycle acrobatics at its most insane.
And Rising definitely keeps to the theme. Tracks are spread out all over the globe, ranging from the snowy peaks of Scotland, to the balloons of Bagan, to the skies of Siberia. Each one offering up riskier and more complex stages to master as you progress. And that will involve a lot of, wait for it, please don't hate me, trial and error.
I'd be mad if you weren't so very, very right. The control scheme is simple in theory. Pump the gas to go faster, lean forwards and backwards to control the angle of the bike, bail out when the frustration kicks in, and brake to, well, brake. Putting them into practice, though, is another thing entirely.
Thankfully, though, you've got an expert on hand to show you the ropes, or tracks, in the form of Aussie YouTuber and Trials educator, Professor Fat Shady from the University of Trials.
Welcome to Trials 101.
His first few lessons go into the basics of not falling on your face, while his later tutorials look at the more technical elements of Trials controls. I really liked how detailed these classes were without being too overwhelming. You're given a demonstration, guided instructions,
Pay close attention to the bike rotation.
and with a visible user interface, you can see what the movement is meant to look like from a controller perspective. How good is it to be able to see what you're meant to do?
I'm so glad these were included. They're super helpful if you're new to the Trials series or just want to brush up on your technique. But we should probably talk about the tracks themselves. What did you think?
Oh, they're so awesome. Because they're personalized to whatever country they take place in, each track feels unique, and not just visually either. There's a great sense of flow between each of the obstacles, and it's so easy to get caught up in trying to memorize each one. To nail that perfect run. Memorize?
Yeah, I got it. Through playing this, I realized I'm an unfortunate blend of competitive and perfectionist. So I was definitely not above restarting a match if I messed up and looked like I was gonna fall behind, which happened a lot. Once you've completed a certain amount of tracks, you can take part in the stadium finals. Here, you'll duke it out against other riders aiming for that top spot on the leaderboard. Once you've got that under your belt, you unlock the next region with more tracks, challenges, and sponsors.
Sponsors set goals for the tracks you compete on, such as finishing in a certain amount of time, doing a certain amount of tricks, or getting through the course without messing up. Which, as we've mentioned, is way easier said than done.
In between the bouts of rage, though, comes a ray of sunshine in the form of the skill games. These return from previous Trials titles as little breaks from the mayhem of the competitive circuit, where you can lose yourself in some over-the-top, often dangerous fun.
Speaking of over the top, the new character and bike customization options have opened up a world of terrifying builds for you to create and purchase. For instance, your character, Gem. Why?
To strike fear into the hearts of my multiplayer competitors. You can't beat what you're too afraid to drive past. Unfortunately, though, at the time of our review, the multiplayer mode wasn't available. So the world will have to wait to see my horrendous creations debut.
Don't worry, I think I saw all I needed to see of it in tandem mode. If you thought riding solo wasn't difficult enough, this mode lets you and a friend team up and tackle a course on a tandem bike. Cooperation here is the key to success as you work out who needs to be leaning what way and when. As you can imagine, it's shenanigans aplenty.
Last but not least, the Trials track editor returns, letting you craft whole new courses and share them with the online community. There is such a massive amount of elements to command and control here to get the most out of your track. So much so that I would have liked to have seen an inbuilt tutorial in there somewhere just to get my head around what I was doing.
Yeah, that would have been super handy. But thankfully, there are heaps of user-made tutorials online that you can look at to get a better understanding of how everything works. But we should wrap this up. Final thoughts, Gem?
Rad, there's something to be said about a game that can make me want to pull my hair out, yet still keep me coming back for more. As frustrating as the process of mastering each course can be, there is an undeniable sense of thrill when you watch those seconds get shaved off your runtime with each new try. I'm giving Trials Rising 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
It's a very, very fine line that a game can walk to make you rage enough to motivate you to do better without pushing you so far into frustration that you just give up. And Trials Rising knows just how far it can take it. I had an amazing time. You could even say, it got a rise out of me.
I wish you wouldn't.
I'm giving it 4.5 out of 5 rubber chickens.
Good spawning, Australia! It's time for the scoop with me, Darren! Forget the rest, my gaming news is the best! Thank you.
Darren.
Just a moment. Oh, thank you. Oh, where was I? Oh, and please welcome the newest addition to the Good Game Spawn Point team, Will!
Hey, I can't wait to talk through all the big things that happen in gaming this week.
Affirmative! And first up, it's news that Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé will retire after 15 years on the job. His replacement will be Nintendo's Senior Vice President of Sales and Marketing, Doug Bowser, who will take the reins in April.
Whoa. The new boss's name is Bowser?
I'm sure it's just a coincidence.
I sure hope so.
In other news, the Pokemon International Oceania Championships took place in Melbourne a few weeks ago. Pokemon trainers from around the world battled it out to see who would emerge as the very best. Canada's Justin Miranda Radbourne triumphed over Australian James Gilbert in the video game Junior Division Finals with an excellent use of an Incineroar and Xerneas team.
I hear that the Canadian champ has won the North American, Latin American, and European international championships, and now he can add an Oceania win to his collection.
Well, you must endeavor to collect everything. Isn't that the Pokemon trainer motto?
You mean gotta catch 'em all?
Affirmative. yes. Boatmeal, what's your favorite Pokemon? Geodude, you say? Oh, surprising. I would have thought it would have been Houndour or Arcanine, sure. No, Boatmeal, you are an enigma wrapped in a riddle.
My favorite Pokemon is...
There's no time, Will. We have more news. Did you hear that Australian developers Team Cherry are releasing a sequel to their popular platformer, Hollow Knight? Hollow Knight Silk Song follows the adventures of Hornet, who players will remember from the first journey, through a whole new haunted kingdom.
Great, a new journey and more bosses and more failing to beat those bosses. Oh boy, Hollow Knight is tough.
Oh, I'd be happy to give you some tips. But first, it's time for the Extra Scoop! And what have you found for us, Will?
Well, Darren, I thought this had a certain extra scoopy quality. An online channel known as Lego Boars has recreated some classic movie moments in the wobbly world of gang beasts. Like Toy Story.
And you, my friend, are responsible for delaying my rendezvous with Star Command. You are a toy!
And The Lion King. Very creative.
And so gelatinous. Well, that's all the time we have for this week. Please thank Will, everyone. I can tell you'll be a fine addition to the GGSP family. We are family. Everyone at GGSP.
Alrighty, well, welcome to the Ask SP desk, Will.
Thanks, Jem. I'm really looking forward to answering these questions.
I'm sure you do a great job.
I do have a question for you, though. Is the Noob Cup that bad?
Oh, yes. Yes, it is. Everything you've heard, completely true. But don't worry, these will help.
Really? Are they magic, or?
I don't know how they work. It's just scientifically proven that you're smarter when you wear them.
Well, okay. I'll put them on. I'm smarter now. I understand the Higgs boson. No, it's gone. The Higgs boson's gone.
The what? Anyway, we may as well run you through a few Ask SP desk rules. Firstly, but I know who that is.
Did someone say rules?
Hey, Darren. Yes, I did. I guess you could run Will through a few of the Ask SP desk rules, but only the most crucial ones. We don't have all day.
Nonsense, there's always time for rules. Well, Will, firstly, you must always bow when questions from royalty come in. When emoticons appear, you must perform them to the best of your emoji ability. And, most importantly, don't be a noob. Oh, you know, I'd be happy to explain the Higgs boson anytime. Particle physics are truly fascinating.
It's all good, Darren. We're pretty good with the bozo, what's it, who's it. Bye.
Oh, if you insist, goodbye.
Bye, Darren. Okay, I think I've got it. But how did he hear us before?
When he's in the cloud, he's kind of like all omnipresent and... Anywho, let's get started with a beautiful video submission from Winton.
Hi Red, hi Jim, hi Goose, or a new person that I don't know the name. So yeah, this is my poster that I want you to have. These are chairs, the type of chairs with wheels. The G has a picture of Jim, the other G has a picture of Red, the S is just a normal S, the P has a picture of the new person. Darren's in the middle. These are square pixels, rectangles, flamingos, circle pixels, spiders, crane, and you know the chairs. They're all just quick draws. Bye.
Thanks, Winton. Not so much of a question there, but a presentation of sorts. But hey, we're okay with that. And keep an eye out for your GGSP pin.
Yeah, thanks, Winton. You are quite the artiste. What a masterpiece.
Now, of course, we've established our new person is Will, but Winton's art does raise some good questions, as great art often does. Who is Will? What is Will? And why is Will?
Right, well, for starters, I am Will. I am a human being currently residing on this little planet Earth. I don't really know why I am. Luck, I guess. As for where, well, I'm right here. And of course, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah, I see what you did there. You're going to fit in quite nicely. Now let's find a way to our next question. And this one is from Liam in Sydney. Hi, GGSP. Do you know if Nintendo will ever release a virtual console for the Switch? Hooray! Thanks a lot.
Thanks, Liam. And in answer to your question about whether Nintendo will ever release a virtual console for the Switch, I'd say that's very unlikely.
I think you might be right. For those who don't know, the virtual console was a way for Nintendo to make some games from older systems available via the Wii U and the 3DS.
But now for the Switch, Nintendo Online seems to have taken the place of the virtual console. Nintendo Online lets you access a selection of classic Nintendo games on the Switch as part of a paid subscription.
This differs somewhat from the virtual console model though, doesn't it? With the virtual console, you paid per game.
Yeah, that's right. And hey, I suppose there's pros and cons to both systems, but I doubt Nintendo will move back towards their virtual console model now that they're committed to their online subscription service.
Agreed. Now, I think we have time for one more question, and this one is from Steamed Hams, who is inside the Northern Lights.
Dear GGSP, I have 4 questions for you. 1. Is Nintendo making a sequel to Mario Maker? 2. Have you seen the poster for the Sonic movie that's coming this year? 3. In LEGO Dimensions Doctor Who level, how can you unlock the Mystery Doctor? 4. Any new Sonic games coming this year? If you don't answer, I'll turn you into Steamed Hams. Steamed Hams out. Thanks, Steamed Hams. To answer your question about a Super Mario Maker sequel, the answer is yes. Super Mario Maker 2 has been announced and it's due out in June this year.
Now, to whether we've seen the Sonic movie poster, yes, we have seen the poster, and its depiction of Sonic's legs.
What's wrong with those legs?
More like what's right with those legs. They're just a bit too muscular, maybe? Maybe too human-y looking? I don't know what it is, but they make me feel really uneasy.
Yeah, fair enough. Moving on to the question about unlocking the Mystery Doctor in the Doctor Who LEGO Dimensions level. Now, I love the LEGO games, and I love Doctor Who, so this question's completely in my wheelhouse. Once you've completed the Doctor Who level pack, you can regenerate regenerate as the different doctors, including the War Doctor, John Hurt, who was technically a mystery doctor, but I'm not sure if that's what you're getting at. If you mean this little silhouette-y image on the regenerations panel, that's actually the cycle function for regenerations.
As for new Sonic games this year, we should be seeing Team Sonic Racing, fingers crossed. It was meant to come out last year, but was delayed.
It's hard to say if there will be other Sonic games out this year. I guess time will tell.
Speaking of time, we are all out of it. If you have a question you'd like us to answer, hey Will, do you want to do the website swish thing?
Yes, please. Okay. If you have a question for Ask SP, send it to us here. Is it supposed to sound like that?
You'll get the hang of it, don't worry about that.
Oh, good job on the Ask SP desk, Will. You know, it's not for the noob-hearted.
Well, I do love a challenge. I say bring it on. Give me your trickiest gaming questions.
Oh, never tempt the noob cup, Will.
That's good advice. Next week on GGSP, we take Emmett on another grand adventure in a review of the Lego Movie 2 video game. Plus, I visit the Perth Games Festival.
And don't forget, we've got lots of exclusive videos online. This week, it's some super handy Wargroove tips. Make sure you check it out.
Well, until next week,
Be nice, have fun, and keep gaming. Rat out.
Gem out.
Will out.
Darren out.